Hey, what's up, survivors? The POI or Builder development stream was awesome, and the Fun Pimps covered so much that I split it into multiple videos. This one will focus on actual new POIs. With 145 plus and likely 170 or more at launch of Alpha 20, we're getting treated to an amazing selection of new POIs with some old ones updated in the mix as well. So let's get started on the first out of many, and even while they showed many during the stream, it's only a fraction of the new ones created. Make sure you bash that like button and subscribe too while at it, be a good sport. So the first one is the apartment building, which has been revamped. Great POI, big tier 5, and they even put in a sewer now.
We have an update to the apartments that you guys may remember if you've played this before, and tried to preserve as much as I could of what was good about I believe it was the A17 version, when this was originally built or remade or whatever, I can't remember now. And there's some updates. I always wanted this to be a purity booth kind of area.
We have the fall Lease building, where of course Vedui realtors will take inquiries for purchases ahead of time, for a fee of course. It is a bit of a fixer-upper, aren't they all? Solid foundation, plenty of room, and lots of natural light.
A little bit.
Do you want me to go in or just stay in the editor?
You don't need to play it, but you can fly around. You can fly around inside a little bit too if you want to. Right. There's not much to give away in this one because it is a remnant. It's not a questable POI, so there's not really a lot of zombies. Kind of the concept for this remnant was with the idea that players sometimes take over these abandoned buildings as bases. So I put a lot of thought into kind of giving a quadrant approach. Like there's 4 corners of the building in various levels of destruction, and if you were to go to the center, the second floor, this kind of is sort of a little storytelling that I've tried to do, that where survivors may have tried to hole up here but they didn't make it, but they might have left you behind a few goodies, and you could try to take this over as a base if you want to. Now, some of these, we've started to test these a little bit more with large hordes of zombies to see kind of how they pass through it and where the zombies climb up and where they go. And it kind of worked as I hoped. This kind of becomes the defense high ground, and it's pretty interesting. We're playing with more ideas like that, where remnants or abandoned buildings could be possibly defendable for the tower defense aspects of the game, and trying to design stuff with that in mind is challenging and pretty fun to do, and hopefully players enjoy it too. If they pull up in some of these places at night, they may find some benefits to certain areas of the remnant over others.
Cloud 88 and Spanx. A commercial and residential setup, it looks like, one of the many of these filler POIs which will make up the cities. While they're not all super unique due to the size constraints, they should fit well together and make up a great city district.
But we can kind of talk about the way in which we build POIs to support the new random gen. Now, this is what's called a downtown filler. We just named it that way because they're size 25 by 25 to fit into the new random gen stuff and kind of piece together into the new cities and the city generation. And what we tried to do is really kind of cram, especially for districts like downtown, is like make it feel very tight and like multiple buildings kind of stacked together, which form when it's a questable. I mean, we have some remnants like this too, but like I just showed, but the kind of stacked nature of the different forms of the building kind of forming 2 or 3 maybe different businesses, or 4, however many you can fit into a 25, which is part of the challenge. And that kind of makes sort of a dense, sort of rewarding experience of, as you wander through cities, you're going to get these dense little clusters of buildings that let you explore and quest and do cool things. And They've been a lot of work, but a lot of fun too. And they can be pretty fun to play. I can't wait till you guys get to play and see some of the new city stuff we've done. It's some of the more interesting stuff I've done in my career. So I think we're all pretty excited, and some of us are pretty excited. I mean, almost as excited as some of you are probably. Yeah, there's some.
Here we have AC, Lazy Fitness, and Yucca Juice. Go work out, then grab a juice. 10% off for members. Another example of a great integrated POI with quests through each other.
I don't know if they saw the joke there.
And to the Yucca Juice.
So now, again, we're not going to talk a whole lot about Rendon, but imagine the other one that we showed kind of maybe it may appear next to this one. So you could end up seeing denser cities with these next to each other, and you could go from questable to questable or questable to remnant, and they're right next door to each other. It's really cool. It's really fun to run around in cities now and kind of just lose yourself to the distraction of, oh, what's that building over there? Oh, what's that building over there? Oh, what's that POI over there? And it's almost overwhelming at times because you have so many choices that you can make about where you want to go and what you want to do, and it's I can't think of a good word to describe. It's kind of magical. It's like wow, this is neat. So we all have been enjoying a lot playtesting this build. And so hopefully the fact that we're all having a lot of fun means you guys will have a lot of fun. That's our hope anyway. We've been pouring a lot of sweat into this, a lot of work.
Looking for a law firm? Shit's Law is a great place to start. They totally wreck their opponents. Or mostly deadbeats anyway. And why not hire Wise Guy CPA for all your accounting needs? You'll have plenty after all those wrongful death cases.
It's kind of mind-blowing, actually, to even some of us who know about it all and have been working on it. It's like, wow, I can just wander around and explore all these places, and it's kind of what some of us have always wanted to do in the game. And it feels pretty exciting and special that we've been able to make that a reality. So hopefully y'all enjoy it.
Everybody be sure, we are going to be answering questions at the end. So we're not going to be answering all these questions that you all are throwing out right now. But we do want you to save them and ask them in a little bit. I can go a little bit upstairs, maybe not the whole. Let's give them a glance.
Yes, you can aggro zombies between POIs and get chains of them after you. It's that's pretty cool too. Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay.
It can get pretty hectic and crazy wandering through new cities. And
to be fair, I haven't seen any of these buildings because I haven't really been playtesting as much. I've been focused on my system. So yeah, all these POIs that we're looking at, I've never been through, so I don't.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, and I mean, now that we've got more designers, I mean, I've looked at a lot of the other POIs, but I haven't played all of them yet either. Even though I look at them and we show them to each other in meetings and stuff, and do show and tells and things like that, which are pretty cool. And that we almost need to do that now because we have more designers making stuff that like no single one of us can keep track of like all the POIs going in. And it's funny. It's like, we'll do a meeting each week. It's like, hey, show me what you've been working on, and I'll see something new every week that I've never seen before. I'm like, whoa, when did you make this? It's like, oh wow, that's cool. So some of us are kind of surprised, even though we're working on it, that there's all this new content going on, and there's so much that a lot of us can't even track it all, or we're not aware of it until someone shows it to us. We're like, oh, when did this get made? This is cool. So that, yeah, it's a big POI content update. A lot of POIs, probably the most we've ever done in an alpha.
Not all POIs are small either. Here's a bigger development with shops on the ground floor with apartments upstairs. These make pretty good community bases after being cleaned up, I suspect, as they're already set up into various living areas. And it looks like there's a rooftop garden as well. Maybe we can put in a pool for that barbecue party.
Outside. Alright, this is one of the first bigger POIs I made a while ago now, standing by for A20. It's formerly a factory which was recycled into apartment buildings. Apartments with two-story apartments. You can take a look.
Go ahead and go on
some
inside.
windows. Yeah, well, you start there. I mean, that's fine.
Here, I'm just
There's like some shop below. This is a downtown building. Yeah, this is a tier 4, if I recall properly.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some like.
That's
That's
really
the back
cool.
of the shop.
Yeah.
I've been improving this POI for a while. Like when we get new blocks, I often use them in previous POI, so I keep them updated. I think we all do that. So this has changed over the time, because I like to for the time we hit A20 to have I mean the best POIs possible, better looking, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the apartments. There are like 6, if I remember. They are all different, so this was a bit challenging, that you might have to make them unique.
Yeah.
This guy even had a projector there with a screen to your left.
Oh, hold on. Back in this room. Sorry, I've already left.
Yeah,
that right
the
there.
bigger apartment. Yeah, I know, it's fine.
Yeah. No, it's
There.
fine. So, yeah. No, this looks
Yeah,
really
it
good.
has a screen. Yeah.
I'm glad they've been looking at creating more industrial POIs as well. It was an era which was lacking, where we ended up with just boring houses on the outskirts or even outside of the cities. Having more of these really makes sense. Open areas, but still plenty to explore, and I hope they have a lot of nice building resources to loot.
You will find this type of POIs now in industrial tiles. It's made like in separate buildings, but of course all of them are connected. So you start at one point. You can fly around if you want to show.
Oh, sure.
You can go to yeah. You can sneak peek into some.
Yeah, just look a
one
little
warehouse.
bit in. Oops.
This one
Keep
has
punching.
this one has some secret area.
Okay. Well, I don't want to show the secret.
No,
so-
it's okay. No.
Okay.
As long as you stay around.
Just stay on the path.
Yeah,
Lances
there are a
around
bunch
it.
of these warehouses now.
Yeah.
I'm sure people will find them funny to explore, because all of them are different. Although it's the same concept as a warehouse, but they are all made different, so they don't go there.
Yeah. Nope. I saw it and I was like, no, let's stay out of that.
That's fine. Yeah, that makes this one warehouse a bit unique.
Everyone remembers Joe Bros Builders, who incidentally seem to never finish any of their high-rises. I guess they went belly up and got eaten by all their investors. I hear Mama's Pizza is, however, the best in the neighborhood.
It's a construction building next to a pizza place called Mama Pizza.
The cathedral looks amazing. I feel sorry for its broken state, but it's great to see some of these POIs that look like they've been bombed out, burnt down, and not just in a sort of mostly pristine condition. If you recall previous alphas, there was a cathedral which is amazing to explore, but this one gives me visions of sort of a last stand in the middle with hordes of zombies coming in from the outside during the Blood Moon Horde. Anyone got some holy water? Another bombed, burnt out husk of a building. Not too much there, but it's definitely better than some of the other old collapsed buildings that we have. It'll probably make for really good temporary horde base. Who cares if there's more destruction? Expecting a package? Well, head down to the post office, and if you ordered an arrival, well, there's always races next door. Outfits, toys, and other gift ideas.
So this is a similar remnant style in downtown. Like Eric was saying earlier, we tested these, so they're kind of like light on loot, but really good, maybe temp horde bases or temp places for a night. If you go on top, Lathan, you'll see the roof is completely missing. And you can fly around through all the rooms, but you can see how this used to be like an apartment on top, and at the bottom floors are 2 businesses. I'll let you guys determine what kind of businesses they look like.
Here's another example of a smaller town or city outskirt district with some shops, parking, but otherwise fairly unremarkable. And don't get me wrong, the game really needs these ones to look natural, else you get that super sharp contrast between the wilderness and the city center.
Alright, so this is a 2-building POI. Country town is kind of like your outskirt town, so it's not as built up as commercial or downtown. So you got another post office here. You kind of have like a, you can look through the windows, but don't go inside, Lathan. But yeah, it's kind of an appliance store. What's going on in there?
Do they have toys in there too?
Maybe.
And DVDs.
Yep.
Okay.
And then if you just want to fly around the back just so they can get a view, aerial view.
Hey,
That's like Saints Row. I know what you're talking about. I'm a huge fan of Saints Row, by the way. So I know the ins and outs of all of it.
The Crack-a-Book Savage Country residential building is another example of a great player base. Maybe take out the stairs and you got plenty of room upstairs for your living quarters, crafting, storage, and chill out areas. Plenty of reading downstairs as well where you get bored.
So this is one of those combo buildings. It has some small shops on the first floor and a pretty good sized living complex on top. So this one should be really interesting. We're not going to go inside this one, but one thing I did on the design of this POI is create multiple pathways that the player can go through, even though it's questable. So it's not as linear as maybe some of the ones that.
And here we have a competitor in the pizza market. Luigis has, however, been struggling to attract the right clientele. Lots of deadbeats outside, but perhaps it's due to the low-class district it's normally setting up shop at.
Where the best Italian shop is located.
Good here.
You know, Luigi's. You know, he's really from Italy.
I heard from
not like that mama person.
I heard from George Clooney that the mama place is better. So I don't know.
The electrical substation POI has gotten a revamp. It looks similar from the outside, but there's plenty of changes on the inside. And it's the inside that counts, remember?
Yeah, we've gone into some older POIs too and given them facelifts. You can go inside it if you want. There's not a lot, like, you're not giving a whole lot away that people will probably remember. Don't have a lot of secrets in this one. There are a few probably, but you probably won't find them. So.
Oh, we're showing them all. Chat, look with us. Let's see if we find
Some may
this.
remember this POI from past office, and since we do have an industrial district in the new random gen, that I couldn't let this one atrophy any longer, and I gave it a little facelift. So I'm gonna show that off.
Wait, I already went that way. Okay, let's go back upstairs. Wait, we didn't like. Yeah.
I mean, it should look. The basic layout is the same, but it should look pretty different from the old version, the A14 version. It's kind of hard not to, right?
Yeah.
Or A15 version, whatever it was. I don't even remember anymore. Yeah, there's a lot of. Oh, you know what could go there? Where that little thing that looks like a generator was.
Oh.
Same goes for the clunky oil company, which seems to have been bought over by Passing Gas, or maybe it was one of those hostile takeovers. Upgraded, it now provides for much of the gasoline needs of the area.
I brought it up to date. Some people may recognize the building shape, which is also an older POI that has now gotten a little bit of polish on it. So yeah, you know, we've been talking a lot about downtown, which is a pretty major district now, but we did a little heavy lifting in industrial as well, and you can run around in here if you want. It's not gonna.
I'll run around a little bit. I won't go too far, hopefully. I'm gonna stumble on the treasure room on accident, or I'm just gonna stumble on it. Is that it right there?
That's the preview of it.
Okay.
You get a preview of it anyway. That's why I'm like, you can wander around. You're not gonna give anything away because players are gonna see that when they walk through, and then they're gonna kind of know where it is. So previews and post views are things that we like to do. That are some of the tricks you'll see in a lot of classic games, in the level design of classic games, and we like to use some of those tricks ourselves.
And rural areas not to be forgotten. They pumped out a selection of farmsteads as well.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's going to spoil anything. I mean, this is just to give an example of how much content we have coming in A20. We've got a bunch of farms and a bunch of country kind of business POIs, and there's a lot of content. It blows my mind.
And who doesn't need those big buns?
So this was kind of sort of a sleazy country strip club, and you gotta add a little bit of flavor, a little bit of sleazy flavor that exists in real life.
You want me to fly around it? I guess you don't want me
Yeah,
going
you can just
inside.
fly around it. No, you don't need to go inside. Yeah. It's pretty small, so that would pretty much give it all.
As you can see, there are so many new POIs, and this selection isn't even the complete one in the game of what they've added. If you love exploration, Alpha 20 is going to give you so much to do, so many new places to see, to loot, to fight in. Even if you did a horde every night, and each night you moved into a new POI, you got months and months of game time to get through just with the new buildings. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing and liking the video.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.